Okay, Matt, so we're going to see a lot of players when they set up to the golf ball, they do tend to get their body a bit twisted, and that can cause big slices and cuts, can't it? So we see a lot of players set up in this regard, upper body tilted towards the target, lower body away. And with the driver, we need what sort of delivery?
We need an upward angle of attack.
An upward angle of attack. And to encourage that, if we're setting up in this position, it's not really helping, is it?
Okay, that's going to help promote the club moving on the downswing and potentially causing strike issues and spin issues and a loss of distance.
Yeah, okay. So let's say that we're looking at a player who is setting up to a golf ball like this, and you were saying that you actually had a lesson about this the other day, and you actually just gave them the simple cue because their ball position was good. It was nice and forward off the inside of their front heel. Yeah. Lead armpit here a little bit too far in front. That's actually a better reference than just ball position because we want to make sure our body's tilted. So they were too far in front. Now, you just gave them the simple cue of what felt comfortable for them, but actually just rotating their chest backwards and starting with the golf club head behind the golf ball, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, if you come in and you demonstrate that for me, talk about some of the benefits of going from, and every player can do this, it's only going to help them with their driver swings. If you're tilted too far in this direction, you see Matty's shirt buttons are facing too much towards the target, pelvis is back, gets this kind of crooked look here. If you then start with that club head back and behind the golf ball, you'll see instantly how that affects the orientation of his body. Now, if you exaggerate it, Matty, you put your club head all the way back there. Now, you'll actually see some of the long drivers that Matty actually competes with. They start with the golf club sometimes a long way back, don't they?
Yep.
And why do they do that?
One of the main reasons for this is to try and keep their low point a long way back behind the ball. So they're guaranteed to increase their attack angle. So they're always moving the driver on the upswing, which really helps with high launch and low spin. Also, like I said, putting their body in a tilt, which is effective for kind of recreating that position around impact. So you are a little bit tilted from like a right side perspective.
Yeah.
And you can move that club head on the upswing.
Okay.
Into impact.
Perfect. So if you actually demonstrate that for me, start with the club, let's say about a half a foot back behind the golf ball is kind of a good reference. And I want you to swing to the top, and we're just going to kind of describe what low point is to the players at home. Essentially, as you swing down and keep going down, it's going to be right at the bottom of the swing arc. From this point, the club is then eventually going to rise. And with a driver, we want to do that. If you're a long drive athlete like Matty here, you're going to have that ball teed up considerably more.
Yeah.
But for the average player, if you just get one of the taller tees, you put it right just so the tip's there and it's above, it's going to be about that height, right? And then from that, if you're looking to get an ascending angle of attack and hitting up on it, this is a great exercise to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get you to jump back over here and I'll demonstrate the poor version of, let's say, ball position's the same. I'm going to tilt my body forward in this direction and I'm going to make a swing. Real worm burner, drop kick.
Nice.
Felt like the club was going to snap if I actually tried to go at it. And then for the purpose of the demonstration, just to show you how much you can exaggerate it here, guys, is that same ball position, then I'll move the ball all the way back here. Now, I'm still going to start by looking at the golf ball, but see how my chest is just tilted a long way away. Now, you don't necessarily want to do this with irons because you'll start hitting too far behind the ball because the ball's on the ground. But seeing as the ball's teed up, you can actually get away with it. I'm going to start with the golf club, let's say about a foot behind, looking at the golf ball. And straight away, you can see how much of a better flight that was. A lot straighter and came up high launching, low spinning, which is key. Any final thoughts here on this setup piece of adjusting the chest back? What about the angle of the shoulders? If they're open, we're more likely to have a swing path that's out to in, right? Yep. If they're closed, what are we going to see with the swing path?
We're more likely to see a sort of swing direction that's kind of arcing a little bit further to the right. So your club path numbers will be a bit more positive on TrackMan. So your in to out values or draw bias, golf swing. Yeah. I think one of the key takeaways as well for me is once you're in that position of setup, there's a certain maintenance of that through the swing as well. So you're trying to kind of return back to impact with someone in that position. Yeah. So I can then create that positive attack angle that we were talking about.
Yeah, very good. And you can see just if we exaggerate these two pieces, let's say I do the poorer version, I twist my body here, how much of an upwards and across motion we'll see versus off the back foot. Very around and out. So it's actually probably one of the most simple ways to improve your delivery of your golf club with a driver. My driving's been a bit shaky lately, mate, so I actually might do this myself. So I'm going to place the ball pretend that the ball's further off my back foot, starting out in that direction.
Yep.
And then what you're saying there, Matty, is that all things being equal, that'll help the bottom of the golf swing come down, bottom out behind the golf ball, then start to rise. But as long as I kind of maintain that feeling, and just mentioning the sort of armpit crease that I was talking about earlier in the video, if we can kind of get that armpit crease behind the golf ball, well, that will ensure the bottom of the swing is behind it and will help us hit up. So let's do that once more. Show one down there. Perfect. Looking at the ball. Love it. All right, guys, so if you're looking to improve your angle of attack, get more of an inside delivery with your driver, let's ensure from the setup we're getting the upper body tilted a little bit further behind, upper body behind the lower body, and ensure that we stay there back at the moment of impact, and it can really help you hit more fairways.
Thanks for watching this video. YouTube thinks that you would benefit from watching this one next. So click that card and it could be the tip that you need to take your game to the next level. I'll see you next time.